Deleted session, August 2, 1972. Now, good evening. I have a few more suggestions. Without going into reincarnational information just now. From this life, Rupert got into the habit of not physically expressing emotion. Some of the reasons were given in other sessions. He was demonstrative, but not demonstrative. Fears and deep worries were not given physical expression. When your own communications became somewhat limited, he did not express worries to you, and brooded inwardly. He needs to realize that he can indeed physically express himself. Now, give us a moment. I suggest, therefore, that he make an attempt to express his moods, both joyful and sorrowful, in physical terms through body motion. Encourage him in physical activities, even small successes, as he sees definite improvements will be of great inner value. Try a simple game of pitch and catch, for example, but some physical release in terms of playful activity, even slow dancing, for example, until he can manage fast dancing, but the use of bodily rhythm. Play your radio, another example, and the two of you dance to it at home if you want. The outside atmosphere is good, however. When his stakes bother him, they do want activity. I am trying to give you, again, some immediate helpful methods. The use of your apartment. He can rather easily inspire himself along that line, even in cleaning and fussing, where the body activity is secondary to another desired secondary end. Any ideas along these lines that you think of will be of benefit. Even if only having him once or twice a day walk, as well as he can up and down the hall. The desire to go places and do things, or buy things, or see people, all of these things are good, because they imply physical action. You sidestep many of the blacks to action, when the stimulus is a good one. Do you follow me? Rob said, yes. This is an excellent point. They said, do not let the fear he holds you of this evening go below the surface again. Many have been in far worse situations and healed themselves. He should not overestimate the poor points of his condition. The fear can make him do this, so he seems even far worse physically than he is. It does not lead to a realistic picture then. Instead, to dire images of being, for example, bedridden. A sensible look at the picture, therefore, will show him that he is indeed far better than that feared image. Again, there must be a concentration upon the health that he does have, and the freedoms he does enjoy, for this will lead to greater freedoms. This is his end of the picture right now, and what he should do. Now, he is onto something with his theory of aspects, but the theory is not as yet fully developed. What he has so far will lead even further. When he types up the material received so far, he will make other new connections. Look over the notebook of last summer. The methods used then will work with far greater effectiveness now because of the other information you have received. and the necessary changes in your relationship that have occurred. Do not wait for proof. Rupert must act as if he has the resources, and then the resources show themselves. When he finds himself negatively imagining a situation, he must immediately realize this as a negative habit pattern. Then, reimagine the circumstances, seeing himself performing adequately, but without telling himself that he must be therefore perfectly all right on the next occasion. Do you follow me? Rob said, yes. Seth said, you may take your break. Now, the emphasis you see should be on doing things, without worrying about how they will be done. On the end, not the means. This is where Rupert gets confused. That is extremely important. Rob said, yes, this is excellent material. Seth said, a small example. If he wants new curtains or clothes, then the stimuli automatically activates the body to perform. Now, you have seen that in operation. When he concentrates instead upon how he is going to get to the store, he is concentrating on the means. Go out again to your establishments, where the environment itself is suggestive. You see, do not worry if the first time our Rupert does not perform, nor should he, but cultivate the environment in which this is normal, and he will react to stimuli. The idea of a ride will get him down the steps, while worrying about how he will get down the steps does not help. These are small but important points. I mentioned before the benefit of groups. Do you recall the exchange of energy and so forth? Rob said, yes. Seth said, a concentration upon his work and not upon the symptoms. It is extremely important that he understand this and break that circle. We want a concentration outward now, away from the self, so that the self can heal itself. Again, let him paint, and consistently, he will find himself standing up at an easel. The concentration away from the self is the most important point I can give him now. The concentration should be on work and pleasure and activities. Have him read this, and I expect him to follow these suggestions as well as you followed the information I gave you. The class activity is good for him now. Both classes and the changes he has made are beneficial. He needs the relationship with people. Now, give us a moment. I am not going to tell him where aspects will lead. I do not want to spoil the fun for him. I do want him to know that he is on the road to something, and that it will help him understand me far better. I should also open up some further experiences with both Seth 2, Cyprus, and Oversoul 7. I am letting our book go for now, but we will be returning to it and with Rupert's full consent. I would like to add here that had he taken my early suggestions, he would not have become involved with spiritualistic literature, or groups or individuals. You may take another brief break. Now, tell Rupert I said this. He is physically capable of performing now with much better flexibility than he does, and with comparative physical ease and comfort. At this time, he has therefore simply hypnotized himself into believing he cannot. Ask him to take this for granted, to accept my statement as true. The methods given this evening will allow him to act and perform with far greater ease and effectiveness. Therefore, his physical condition is not as bad, therefore, as it appears. Do you follow me here? Rob said, yes. Seth said, there is a distinction. Now, using the body as it is now, with its abilities, will automatically help to readjust such physical problems as the bent legs. Do you see the difference? Rob said, yes. Seth said, the muscles will cease fighting each other. Now, I do expect all of this to be followed. I am laying down, therefore, definite suggestion, a program of sorts, and I will expect progress reports this time. In other words, tell him, I am not giving the session for my benefit, but for his, and not to hear myself talk, and I know I have your cooperation. If you will think of this, both of you now, and you must, as a creative challenge, this will be of great benefit. Now, give us a moment. I want to see his days filled with different kinds of activity, therefore. Not that he feel rushed, not that you begin running from place to place, but that the concentration be as directed. And if this is done, you will see results. You have seen some. Your compliments are always the frosting on the cake, and he responds to them more than you imagine. You respond to his compliments, you see, and have always backed in them. He should not compare his physical condition with your own, however, but feel himself unfold and open. Do you have any questions? Rob said, no particularly, because Seth have done a great job. They said, then I will let this be our session for the evening. Rob said, it's very good. They said, we expect good results from it, and you are doing very well indeed, and should enjoy an opening in your own work. My heartiest regards and a fond good evening. Rob said, thank you very much, Seth. The same to you, and good night.